Howdy, this is Liz from Eating Required, and today we're going to take a look at the taco stuffed pepper recipe from Laura in the Kitchen. We are going to price out the ingredients and give you some tips and tricks to save you some money and make this recipe work best for you. The link to the Laura in the Kitchen video and the original recipe are in the description below. Here are the key ingredients in the recipe. The prices listed are from my nearest grocery store and are current as of the January 9th, 2024. First column is the list of ingredients. Second column is the cost as specified. One thing I'm going to say about this recipe is that if you watch the recipe, I think she used more than a cup of cooked long grain rice. I think she probably cooked 1 cup of dry rice, making about 2 cups of rice, because you'll see that she adds about a cup and then she adds more. Having 2 cups of cooked rice would be making the rice meat ratio about 50-50, which seems right for me for this recipe. So just keep that in mind if you're going to make this recipe. Secondly, let me say I'm excited about these recipes that I'm doing. I cost out primarily recipes I like and I'm interested in making. So let's get started. Laura talks about the incredibly high cost of bell peppers at the moment, and she uses yellow and orange bell peppers, I believe, in this recipe, which are more expensive, and for 4 of them are $5.20 at my local store. And these ingredients are essentially store brand / generic, the cheapest available ingredient of this type at my local store. Unfortunately, ground beef is not on sale this week, and 1 pound of ground beef is $5.29. That's the 80/20 ground beef. And you'll notice in the line above that, I took out the olive oil. She was using olive oil in her ground beef because she was getting like 93.7 or something and needed a little extra fat. So 80/20 hamburger doesn't need that. Next we have a small yellow onion, 80 cents a piece. A head of garlic is 79 cents. A packet of taco seasoning, the cheapest is 65 cents. A cup of long grain rice, you buy a pound for 99 cents. 2 cups of mild salsa, this is the generic that comes 16-ounce jar. A cup of tomato sauce is an 8-ounce can, generic again. 8 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. The shredded cheese was on sale this week for $2.29 and actually the same price as the 8-ounce package of block cheese, so I just picked that. That brings the total as written to $18.35. Now the second column, cost with changes, I just subbed out green bell pepper and knocked $1.20 off the cost. Not a huge difference. Again, no olive oil. And I subbed out a pound of ground beef for a 1 pound bag of lentils. If you have not tried lentils, taco lentils are one of the easiest meat substitutions for hamburger that you're going to find. The taco seasoning carries the flavor, and the real difference is the texture. Meat, by its nature, has more of a chew to it. Lentils, beans, any other legumes you're swapping out for beef or pork will be softer, so you don't get that bite of the meat. But other than that, full of protein, lots cheaper, as you can see. That is for a 16-ounce bag of lentils, which if you cook it up will probably be double the lentils that you need to replace for a pound of ground beef. You only need about 2 pounds cooked. Again, keep the onion, garlic, everything else is the same for that, and that brings the recipe down $5.10. Just swapping out the bell peppers and the lentils. You say, well, that's great. So you can realize even more savings by just doubling that recipe, because you're going to use the entire bag of lentils, or if it doesn't exactly double in bulk, a second bag of lentils, which I put into the price. So you'll have probably a lot of lentils left over. 2 onions, garlic. You save a little bit on the tomato sauce, and when you are needing 16 ounces of cheese, a block of cheese that you need to shred is less expensive than the pre-shredded this week, which means that doubled recipe cost is $24.02, or for a single version, $12.01. Laura specified that this recipe was easy to freeze, so pack half of those peppers up and pop them in the freezer. Now, if you're not ready to go whole hog and substitute 100% of the lentils, because you don't want to give up the chew of the meat and the umami flavor that you do get from the meat, then doubled version 2 is half beef and half lentils. And that for the double version is $27.92. For the single version, $13.96, which you'll notice is not that much more than the single version with 100% lentils. So you get the beef, you get a little bit of that chew, you're just cutting half the meat and replacing it with lentils. So I think all of those versions look good. Of course, I'm partial to the cheaper versions. I'd probably go for the half and half because I do like a little bit of bite. But in this recipe, I'm going to try it and see if I would really notice that it was lentils or not. Anyway, give these guys a try. Please like, subscribe, and we will catch you the next time with a new recipe. Take care.